Hey there, this is Dave from e-portfix, and today I want to talk to you about two things that 99% of cyclists have to deal with. Tire pressure and flat tires, and how they're related. So, why do I say 99%? Well, there's a small percentage of cyclists who have solid tires. Some kids' bikes or some utility bikes, they have solid rubber tires or a foam rubber tire. They're good for applications like that, but most of us put air in our tires. So, maybe if you're Dan in Castle and you're testing some carbon rims, you don't even need tires, but it's a cool video. Look that up. But the rest of us, we put air in our tires or nitrogen in our tires. And sometimes all the air comes out and then we get a flat tire. So how are those related? Well, I'll talk about three kinds of punctures, three kinds of flat tires that we get. The first kind being a puncture. Now, a puncture is basically when you're rolling along and you hit a thorn, or you run over a nail or a piece of glass or something, and it actually just punctures right through the tire and into the tube. It makes a hole in the tube, and then the air exits through that. This is a puncture. And tire pressure affects this in the way that if you imagine, say, like a birthday balloon. You inflate a balloon. You don't put too much air into it. You just blow it up just so it takes shape, takes a size, and then you take like a dull, semi-sharp kitchen knife or something, and you press into that balloon. It's going to deform a little bit. The knife's not going to go in instantly. The balloon's going to bend around the knife, and then eventually it'll go through. If you take the same balloon and you blow it up really firm, really hard, and you take the same knife and you poke it, it's going to blow right away. So it's a lot more likely to get a puncture. It's a lot less likely to deform around it and do its job of holding the air in. And so the same thing with tires. Back in the day, a long time ago, when we used to race, we used to ride, we were really worried about going fast and reducing our rolling resistance. People used to ride really thin tires, like 19 millimeter tires, and we pumping up to 120 psi, so it was nice and fast to go down the road, aerodynamic. But of course, people got lots of flats, pumping the tires up that hard. The tire wasn't able to do its duty of conforming around and keeping the air in. So when you have too much air in a tire, it's not going to do its job. It's not going to deform. It's not going to conform to the surface that it's rolling on, and it's going to be really likely it's going to be fragile, and you're going to find you're getting more punctures. So running too much tire pressure is going to give you lots of punctures. The second kind of flat tire that you'll experience is a pinch flat. Now, a pinch flat is when you're riding along and then you hit something big. You drop your wheel into a pothole, or you hit a big rock, or the edge of a curb, and you really slam into it and you bottom out your tire. And what happens is the tire bottoms out against the rim. You blow through all the tire, and it squeezes the tube in between whatever you're hitting and the rim, and you get two holes in your tube. When you get a flat tire, you hit something hard, and you get a flat tire, and you pull out the tube, you're going to see two little holes. It looks like a snake bite. And these flat tires are also known as snake bites. And so that's from too low a tire pressure. So when your tire pressure is really low, your tire can't do its job of cushioning the rim, of protecting the rim, and you blow through all that travel that your tire is going to give you, and you pinch it, and you get a flat tire. So that's caused by too low a pressure. So that's the relationship there. Another flat tire that you can get that happens when the tire pressure is really low, and I see this mostly when someone kind of doesn't really pay attention, and they don't check their tire pressure, and they just let their bike go for a long time. Now, butyl tubes that are used in most tires, butyl holds air well, but not perfect. They are a little bit porous. You will get a little bit of air leaking out through the surface material. Air is going to come through very slowly, but you'll find your tire pressure does drop from week to week a little bit. And someone who never checks their tire pressure, the tire pressure can get very low. And then what happens is if your tire pressure is really low, especially if you have bigger tires, you might find that when you accelerate or when you brake, your tube is actually going to spin on the rim. And the valve, where the valve comes through the rim here, your valve comes through that hole there. And if the tire pressure is really low, you got a big tire that's kind of loose, you're going to be starting to move this back and forth, and eventually you're going to shear the valve right off, and you got to flat quite quickly when that happens. So that's when your tire pressure is really low. So low tire pressure, really low tire pressure, and too high a tire pressure, they're all going to cause flats of different types. So you wonder, it sounds kind of critical, what exact pressure do I want to run my tires at? Well, if you look at the side of your tire, you're usually going to see a range of pressure for recommendations. And that range is going to vary quite a bit, 20, 30%, max to min. And so how do you decide? You can look at it this way. If you're riding on clear, dry conditions, smooth pavement or smooth terrain, you can usually run towards the higher end of that, run towards the top of that. If you're running in anything rougher, if you're lightweight and you need more comfort, you can also drop it down. And if you need more grip, if you need your tire to conform to the surface more, you're going to want to run towards the middle or lower end of that pressure. That's going to give you more grip, a bit less, a bit more rolling resistance, more grip, more comfort. But then you're also going to risk more punctures. So look at where you're riding, what the conditions are, what the total weight is on the bike, and that'll give you an idea if you should be running it towards the top or towards the lower end of that range. And then when you do inflate your tires, notice what pressure you're putting in, and then be aware of how the bike is riding. Do you feel like you're bottoming out? Do you feel like you're bouncing around too much? If you're bouncing around too much, if it's too hard, it's not comfortable, you want to maybe drop that pressure next time a little bit. If it's too soft, if you feel you're bouncing around, or you occasionally feel it hitting the limit, then you want to increase the tire pressure next time. So that's my recommendation. Tire pressures, avoiding getting a flat tire. My name's Dave. This has been e-portfix. Thanks for watching. Leave any questions, comments down below. Love to hear from you. And thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you again next time.